It's a lot worse than when you were here this morning. Take a look at these waves. They're just crashing over onto Route 2. And Mark, if you can pan over, that's what police are worried about right now is hydroplaning. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for the West Side Market. You'll be surprised about the things that you've never seen before. I know I was just peeking in. School officials say that the Cleveland district is at a crossroads. Deputies came back to check on the house, a lot like the one right behind me. They caught these two red-handed. Vandals are running down hills like this, knocking tombstones over one by one. Among the veterans that are homeless, the fastest growing population now is women.
A 13-year-old boy lives to tell his amazing story to Channel 3 News. Last night in Parma, he was sucked into a sewer, carried 1,500 feet through raging water, and then trapped. Well, today, he is feeling well enough to go back to the scene with Channel 3's Jason Wynn.
Scary. I didn't know what to do.
Really, Jeff?
Jeffrey Laporta's friend took the cell phone video of him playing in a flooded parking lot.
This whole thing was covered. I couldn't even see that.
Fast-moving water suddenly turned into a vortex swirling down the drain.
I was like going down the hill like that. And then I was like circling it. When I fell in the sewer, I was like, because I thought that was my last breath I ever had. And I was shooting right through here. And then I started praying to Jesus and tell me. And I'm like, goodbye, Mom and Dad, because I thought I was going to die.
As emergency crews got to the scene, they started taking off sewer lids, yelling into the sewer, listening for a sign that Jeffrey was alive.
I didn't want to die. I didn't want to give up. They popped this one up, and then I saw a little light. And I'm like, oh, thank you, God.
After at least half an hour trapped in the sewer, rescue workers pulled him above ground. He stood face to face with his father.
It was crazy. When I saw my dad's face, he was like, because he thought I was dead. I'm like, Dad, I wasn't giving up. And he smiled at me.
A trip to the hospital, 6 stitches, and some scrapes and bruises, and a story he can tell for the rest of his life.
And I'm very lucky to be alive.
Jason Wynn, Channel 3 News.
I said, something is not right. I thought it was a dead rat. Then the smell went away and it was out here.
Mickey Taylor noticed the distinct smell last week here in this apartment complex.
I never thought it would be a body. I just knew it was a smell that wasn't right.
She then confronted Michael Madison.
I called him on the phone. I said, we need you to open the garage because something in there is not right. And he paused on the phone. I said, are you still there? He said, yeah, I'm still here. I said, are you upstairs? He said, no, I'm not there. And I said, okay, bye.
For the last 2 years, Michael Madison has lived right here, just feet away from where police have found 3 women in garbage bags. Madison had a clear view of the women he put in trash bags right here from his apartment.
They finding bodies in these abandoned houses you walk past every day.
Today, neighbors took time to walk this block of Shaw, stunned at what they would see.
When you hear about something like that, like just around the corner from you, like 2 blocks away, you get nervous.
And nervous they should be, as police continue to search for more victims. In East Cleveland, Jason Wynn, Channel 3 News.
At first, when I found out she was missing, the main thing I was worried about is finding her body.
And you did. Alive.
That's the thing that got me.
Hope was all but lost for Michelle Knight, but her mother always knew that she was out there, and she kept pressing police.
I didn't have no pictures or anything because I gave the police department my last picture that I had.
The last 12 years for Barbara has been unspeakable. She's moved to Florida, and now, 2 days ago, a detective called her saying,
"That's your daughter." And I said, yeah.
She left her home in Naples and flew to Cleveland right away. What'd they tell you? What kind of condition was she?
By my understanding, she's having like I can't even pronounce it. Mental problems, and there's some other problems too.
Back in the hospital, Michelle will have a lot to deal with in the upcoming months after being chained, beaten, and possibly drugged. But for now, all her mother wants to do is this.
Just hug her and say, I love you. I haven't seen her in so long, and I can't wait to see her. Because she was my daughter and my best friend.
Across the state of Ohio, 21,428 cars were stolen in 2011. That's 58 cars a day. In Cleveland and Akron, Nearly 8,000 cars were stolen last year.
You can go into any parking lot or out here on the street and try doors. Somewhere out here on the street, somebody left their door unlocked.
An easy grab is still the preferred way to steal a car. Statistics from the National Insurance Crime Bureau say late 1990 model cars topped the list of the most stolen cars in the state. And if you thought your minivan was safe, you're wrong. The 2000 Dodge Caravan is the #1 choice among car thieves in Ohio.
Really, they're easy to steal cars, and people use those for joyriding.
It doesn't stop there.
The car dealers, they have that VIN number printed on your dash for ease of use.
Car thieves have gotten so sophisticated that they're hand-picking the cars that they want. They copy your VIN number, then they have your car's smart key made, and then can steal your car in the matter of seconds.
Makes and models are all over the map, from a Toyota to Jaguar.
Sometimes the thieves have an inside man who work with the car dealers or the title agency. Police are doing something about that.
If you're walking into the dealership to pick up the key from the no-good auto theft fellow conspirator, you're on video.
Video that's being used to make arrests and lower how many cars are taken off the street today. In Cleveland, Jason Wynn, Channel 3 News.
We want anybody who needs help this Christmas season to come to the Salvation Army on Monday.
From food to coats, the Salvation Army expects over 3,000 families to sign up for their Christmas assistance program in Cuyahoga County alone.
We're seeing more and more people coming in from the suburbs. In fact, the suburbs are showing a 75% increase of people living below the poverty level.
At least 1 in 4 children are at or below the poverty line here in Cuyahoga County. The Salvation Army wants to raise at least 25,000 toys to give to those children. But there's a greater need, the need for food.
But with cuts like these, I don't know how we're going to do it.
The federal government is slashing food benefits this year, and the cuts will be deep. Because last year's winter was so mild and power bills were so low, come January, 90,000 local families could lose up to $50 a month in food stamps.
I think about those children who will not grow and learn appropriately without proper nutrition. And when I think of the problem getting worse, it breaks my heart.
With more families hurting financially, a bigger burden will be placed on local food banks.
At the rate we're going to be falling behind. And we have a community that we need to help us to make sure that we don't fall behind.
In Cleveland, Jason Wynn, Channel 3 News. Since 2008, airlines have reevaluated the way we fly by adding a fee on every service they provide.
Airlines used to scramble for your business, and so all those perks that came with it is what separated which airline you flew on.
Now the top 16 airlines in the United States banked $1.7 billion just on fees they charged for checked bags.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
I flew from Vegas to Mississippi, and that was $100 a bag almost, you know. That was ridiculous to me. I feel like they already earned enough money.
Since the beginning of the year, airlines have brought in $1.3 billion just in people canceling their flight or changing their reservations. Together, the top airlines made $2.3 billion on baggage and reservation fees. Delta raked in the most at $432 million. United was in second with $370 million.
I think maybe they made it just a little bit too much and could probably bring the prices down. I don't feel like that they're really working for their passengers. As more airlines merge and new fees arise, airlines can make over $4 billion by the end of this year. In Cleveland, Jason Wynn, Channel 3.